الجاهلون قالوا سلاما وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا. The servants of Ar-Rahman, the servants of the merciful, the beneficent, who walk on earth hawna, in humility, humbly. Subhanallah. Yes, there are people who have millions and millions, and when you see him, he's a very humble person, because he is from among Ibadur Rahman. The wealth doesn't change him. So Ibadur Rahman, they walk humbly, lowering themselves for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. And when the fools try to provoke them, to incite them, they say, peace. Peace, salam. They don't lower themselves to, if you reply, you will lower yourself to that level. You understand? Someone is down there. So if you reply, you will go down to his level. So just ignore him. Imam Shafi'i said, لو كل كلب عواء ألقمته حجرا لأصبح الصخر مثقال بدينار. If every dog barks, you throw him with a stone, then the stone become so expensive. The stones will be more expensive than the gold. It's than gold. Okay? Because there are many dogs, barking dogs, right? True or not? So just ignore the dogs and carry on. You know what Shafi'i meant, huh? He's talking metaphorically. If every fool you will reply, you will not get anywhere. You will be just busy with the fool. Just ignore them. They asked a wise man, how did you become wise? He said, the fools made me wise. How did you become wise? He said, the fools made me wise. They said, how? He said, whenever I see a fool doing a foolish thing, I say to myself, I should not do this. And I'm living in an ocean of fools, so that's how I became wise. I say, this fool is doing something, I say, oh, I should not do that. Another fool doing something else, I should not do it. So that's how I became wise. So, Ibadur Rahman are there always who are humble, grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every name which leads to the service of other than Allah is prohibited. Allah said, فَلَمَّا آتَاهُمَا صَالِحًا جَعَلَ لَهُ شُرَكَاءَ فِي مَا آتَاهُمَا فَتَعَالَى اللَّهُ عَمَّا يُشْرِكُونَ. But when he gave them a salih, good in every aspect, khair, when Allah Azza wa Jal gives them khair, a salih child, they ascribe partners to him, Allah, in that which he has given them. High is Allah, exalted above all that they ascribe as partners to him. So here, Allah talks about mankind, what they do. And some people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He gives them children, and they name the children, and give the names to the children, that these names, they carry within a meaning of shirk, such as, for instance, they will say Abdul Hussein, Abdul Hussein, Abdul Rasul, servant of the Prophet or servant of the Messenger. or servant of Al-Hussein, or Abdullat, servants of Al-Lat, or Abdul Uzza, servant of Al-Uzza, which these are idols. Al-Lat, as we know, and Al-Uzza. So when we have children, we give them names, and the name that indicates that this boy or this girl, they are servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the best names, أفضل الأسماء Abdullah, Abdul Rahman. These are the best names, Abdullah and Abdul Rahman. So if you have children, you choose these best names, Abdullah, Abdul Rahman. If you have girls, you try to choose the names of the Sahaba, Sahabiyat, Aisha, Hafsa. But people, they say, but this is old-fashioned names, We want something, Subhanallah. And Subhanallah, some people, they say, oh, no. Normally I receive calls and a brother will say, okay, give me a name. Sometimes he will call you and say, give me a name. And the child is not born yet. Or sometimes you find them, they say, well, I want this name, my wife is, and the child is still there. It's not born yet. Subhanallah. And, or some people, they say, okay, they open the Quran, any word it rhymes. This is it. Without knowing the meaning. You understand? Sometimes some words, they have bad meanings. It's not just like that you go. For instance, the Arabs, this is common among the Arabs in Syria, Lebanon, these areas. For the males, the name Ihab. So you find it so common. The word Ihab means hide. Hide, which means skin. Imagine you are the father of the skin. Is this a good name? Father of the skin? The hide is the skin before it is tanned, when it has the hair in it. But because it rhymes, it is musical, something. So people, they just look for a name that will rhyme without checking the meaning. Tell them, check the meaning. Or sometimes, some people are superstitious. So if they want the child to live, especially if they lost many children, the first child came and died, then the second, then the third. Then they say, okay, you want this child to live? Give a bad name to the child. You understand? Do you have this? Okay. So they say, give a child a bad name. So then if the child has a bad name, he will survive. And that's why the Arabs, this is the philosophy. The Arabs before Islam, they would give bad names for their children and good names for their slaves. Bilal, Rabah, Ammar, see, nice names. But they would give their children Kalb, dog, Asad, Harb. See? They give Layth. All these names of animals. And why you give these names to your children and good names, they say to frighten our enemies. Okay? To frighten the enemy. So Islam came and started changing the bad names. As we came across how the Prophet ﷺ would change the bad names to good names. Now, here regarding this ayah, you are going to see there's a weak narration is going to come about some they say this is applied to Adam and Hawa, but it's not authentic. Anyway, so if when Allah bless you with a child, give the child good name. And this is the right of the child. The child in Islam has rights over his father, over the parents, and over the father. The rights of the child. First of all, the father has to choose the good mother for the child. Pious mother, righteous mother. He has to